Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2019 Mazda MX-5 Miata. This is the current generation of this little two-seat car. It's lots of fun to drive. I, however, do not fit in it, which is why I have a second camera pointing in the window at me. I want to show how tiny this car is compared to me. I'm 6'3" and about 250 pounds, so yeah. Anyway, but there's a lot of great stuff in this car. It's very well done despite its size, and it comes with the magic 6-speed. The first thing I want to say about this car is this is the easiest manual transmission I've ever driven. Very, very smooth, very easy to get in and through the gears. Just really, really well done. Mazda does this right. So, looking at the car, over here we're looking at the doors and windows and stuff. So there's only two windows. Here's the locks, here's the window lock. Not sure why you'd want that. I mean, you know, the other passenger's right there. You can just put your window down. But whatever. Here's the side mirrors. You will need to adjust those perfectly because this is a tiny car and you don't have a whole lot of rear visibility except for those side mirrors, which if positioned right give you plenty to look at. So down under here, you can't quite see it down way under there. That's the trunk release button. Up here, traction control, lane keeping. This is an alarm. It's not an lane keeping assist, it's an alarm. Just FYI. Over here, you're seeing the volume controls, track control, info. There is no driver information screen on this car, so all of this is actually for the infotainment, and telematics are down there. On the other side, you have cruise control. This does not have adaptive cruise. This is standard cruise control, but honestly, adaptive cruise is a little bit iffy sometimes in a manual transmission. You can get this car with an automatic. I don't know why you would, but you can. And I don't know if adaptive cruise is even available for this. I'll have to look that up because as I understood it, this is the topmost package for this car. Up here are your washer, wipers, etc. Over here's your lighting. Pretty straightforward. There's really nothing special going on there. Jumping up to the instrument cluster. I really like this. So it's hard to get a good angle, but top up or top down, this is a great instrument cluster because you can see it all the time. There's rarely any kind of glare at all on this screen. These screens, I should say. The bezels are well done. The cover's nice and deep. It's up here. Just really well done. So you can see over here you have water heat and your fuel and what driver information there is, so you can see the mileage and stuff that I've done. Over here is your tachometer, front, center, and gigantic. Very important, especially in a manual car, especially if you're going to drive with any sort of sport or athleticism involved. Over here is the speedometer. It has a top speed of a very optimistic 150 miles an hour, or 240 kilometers an hour if you're one of them Europeans that really feels like you're flying. But I don't think it will go that fast. I haven't tried it, but I don't think it would. I've only had this car up to about 90 miles an hour. It's really about as fast as you can get in this car without feeling like you're really pushing it. You can go really fast in these cars, but honestly, after about 70 or 80 miles an hour, it all feels the same. So anyway, there you go. Over here, you have some vents. Nicely done, actually. I like the circular kind. I've talked about them before in other vehicles. I really like the way they work. And then up here is infotainment. This is a touchscreen when it's parked. Otherwise, it is not a touchscreen, and you use this. Fairly easy to use. Mazda's menu system is pretty simple. Let me go to the home button so you can see. So the home just looks like this, and you rotate that dial to go back and forth through them. There's not a lot of complicated capability here. So it is easy to use, but that does mean that, well, it doesn't do a whole lot either. But For what you need in this car, this is probably more than enough. I don't think people who are driving this car are going to be fiddling around with a bunch of extra electronic stuff. Right here's Duke's lights. Push button start. I believe that is standard across the board for this car. Down here's climate control. You can see it does have auto settings, so you can turn this to automatic like that and set a temperature over here, and it will do its thing. Here's the rear defrost there. The hard top does have a defroster strips on the rear, and your front defrost, if I can find it. I thought there was a button for it. Maybe not. You have to turn it all the way over there. There you go. So, yeah, I honestly haven't actually used that this week. Crack the windows and everything defrosts pretty quick. We haven't had any hard frosting. That's the idea. Down here is bun warmers. Over here, this is how you operate the top. They moved it from way up there, which was a terrible spot, down to here, which is much nicer. Push it up to lower the top. Push it down to put the top back up. An indicator will show you, and there will be a small video clip right about now. Showing you how that works. What you're seeing on that screen as it does it. Down here, here's your USBs. Here's, I don't know what that's for, just nothings. I think it's probably used to have aux stuff. Actually, no, this pops open. I'm sorry. That's where your SD card for the navigation is. Down here, this is a spot that's okay for a phone. If you have a bigger phone, it's a tight fit, may not work. If you have a really big phone, thinking, say, iPhone 10, you may not be able to shift into reverse or possibly first gear, but most likely reverse, because it will stick out here too far. So just FYI, decent phone spot, but if you have one of those extra large, gigantic phones, probably not going to work. Handbrake. These kind of parking brakes are essential in a car like this, especially essential if you are performance driving in a vehicle like this, which has a naturally aspirated floor in it. Beautiful little engine, by the way. So up here, these are your controls. So you rotate the knob, you push up and down to select. Quick buttons here, so you go to the home screen like I showed you there. There's your music, there's your nav. This is the volume control. You also have the one on the steering wheel, but this one, you can push it to mute, all of that. And then you have a back button and a quickly I want to star this button. Really good if you're on, like, say, Sirius XM and you like a song or something and you want to remember it, so that it'll do the pop-up thing, right? Here is a largely useless center bin. Not sure what would fit in there other than you can throw keys and whatever. Here's your drink holders. These are removable if you want them out of the way of your elbow. I would recommend removing this one if you're not going to be using it a lot, because this one does get in the way. I'm hitting it a lot like this. There's your actual glove box. So you can see there's a Monroney in there. FYI is $35,405 delivered. You can see the stitching, the black, so red stitching with the black on black interior and a little bit of the exterior color coming in. There's my other camera. I'm trying something new, so you may see clips from that camera versus this one. Really nicely done, honestly. I don't tend to like black on black interiors, but they put just enough bling, the extras there, the brushed there, the exterior color coming in right there. Just the little things like that kind of bring it out, make this much less boring. Plus, a car like this isn't about the interior, it's about the exterior, what's going on outside. So just a great car. I think that's it. That's what I've got. So this has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, sitting in the 2019 Mazda MX-5 Miata. Talk to you again soon.